In this video, you guys are gonna know exactly what skills I recommend for your PvE set, and then another set for single targets, which is going to be when you go against those bosses. What best Omega cards will work for Magik? What best gear will be good on Magik? Best non-regional gear, to be exact. And a lot more, so get ready. Let's get right into it. So we're going to be starting off with the skills first. For my first one, I like to start off with the Abyssal Collapse, okay? Now, why do I choose this one as my number one? The reason I do this one as my number one is because she teleports towards the enemy. So if you're running, you see the enemy, you use it, you teleport, you basically just dash right to them. Not only after that, she summons an orb, pushes them back. While she's pushing them back, that orb is sucking enemies into that area and then explodes, causing more damage. So that right there is a good way to start it off. And it does 457% damage. And it is a black magic class. Now, it's very important that you use, especially as a free-to-play, you use your black magic. The reason why black magic class is so important is because, look, if you look in here, if you read this right here, the gauge will charge as the battle continues or when using dark magic skills. That's why it's very important that you utilize the dark magic skills. So now that we know that, let's go to our second skill. I summon my baby dragon. Okay, now what this baby dragon is going to do, he's going to come in and do a wave of flames and do another wave of flames. And then he sits around, he chills for 16 seconds. I mean, the whole duration he's there, he comes in for 16 seconds, right? And then he applies 39.25% of Magik's attack. He's just attacking there. So he's there for 16 seconds. While you do that, right, you summon your third trait, which is the dragon. Now, I love this one because this one, he's swimming. The dragon's coming from the ground like he's swimming. And if he destroys them in the first wipe, he's going to move on to the next enemy around there. He not only just goes in that area, he moves around that whole big wide area that it's amazing. You can see him go everywhere. And he does a lot of damage. He deals 1,575% damage in the nearby area. So it's crazy how much damage this skill does. I have these two close to each other because of the cooldown. So it's best for me to quickly do this, get close to them, and then I do the dragon and then quickly do this one. And then for my fourth step is the dark conjuration. So this is black magic 2, it's a dark magic. So this right here will increase your ultimate faster. The reason why I like this one is because it launches a dark orb that continuously moves into other enemies near the target, dealing 368% damage and turning them into lesser life forms. I like this because it attacks a group of enemies, right? But then it switches and it starts attacking, and you see how it just kind of moves in from one enemy to the other, and the chances of them turning into little rats are high. So that's a bonus. And when they're rats, they can't do nothing to you, and you're able to do more damage. And then I like to finish that off with the summon demon hand. And that just comes from the ground, closes, and does about 301% damage. But then it also stuns them. So it does a lot of damage and it stuns them. And you're probably thinking that, man, these have a lot of the cooldown is pretty high on these skills. See, but by the time I use this, I'll have my ultimate ready. And then I'm able to use my ultimate and just start doing even more damage. And then when my ultimate's over, my skills are already cooled down all the way. And I'm able to just kind of repeat the process. Now we're going to put these skills to the test. So you guys can see why I recommend this set. I'm going to start off zooming in, get them together, bust that dragon out. Call in. Here we got these guys right here. My dragon still stays flying around and attacking while I'm in ultimate form, because I'm using those black magic skills, the dark magic. It's increasing my ultimate gauge faster every time I use them. All right, so you guys saw what that skill set was capable of doing. It is extremely fun set to have in PvE. It's crucial. It's the one I recommend, and it's the one I've been using. So that was the PvE set. Now we're going to get into the single targets, a boss. So we're going to be switching down to our number 2. So for my skill set, my single target skill set, I like to start off with the Abyssal Advent. Now, the reason why I choose this one is because you teleport, just like the other skill set, you teleport to them. When as soon as you start, you're running towards the boss and you teleport to them, and then it does it hits for 435% damage. Not only that, but if the skill lands for 5 seconds, it's doing 10.6% of your attack per second. So while you hit them and you're done, they're still getting hurt for 5 seconds. For my second one, I'm gonna go with the Limbo Slash. So I teleported them, I hit them, and then I switch it to the Soul Slash, which does 1090% damage to enemies. So this right here is definitely a must for bosses. It does a lot of damage, and you definitely notice. So for my third skill, I use the Incineration Hydra, which is the dragon that shows up and just breathes fire on the target. Now, I use this because I summon him, and then after he's summoned, I can do another move while he's breathing fire on the single target, which adds 555% fire damage for what this is a level 8, level 9 skill right now. And then on my fourth one, I go with the Summon Limbo Commander, which this guy drops out of the sky. As soon as he drops, he does some damage, and then he sits there for 15 seconds and he's applying 39.25% of Magik's attack. Now, the reason that I choose him is because he takes 15% of damage you receive. So while he's out there and you're getting hit, you're getting 15% less damage. Now he's taking that damage though, but you're able to survive a little bit longer, and it's very crucial. Even though it's for like a split second, that split second is very crucial. Now for my fifth one, I use the Soul Strike, and the reason I use it because it does tremendous amount of damage, and it does 1391% damage to enemies in the front. Now keep in mind, while you're doing this, normally you're gonna have your Limbo Commander there with you, because you're gonna summon him, and while he's attacking the boss, you're gonna go in and hit him with the Soul Strike. So now you're getting your double teaming this dude, and not only that, but if he's hitting you back, if you're getting hit, you're taking 15% less damage because of your commander. So we're gonna be testing it out with the final fight for the Maestro story. So we're gonna start off with Ares. Dash to him. Bring in some fire. You have to use the dragon that breathes the fire right, like as soon as, like right here. This is a good move to do. Then you have that. Use your ultimate. Oh. You always want to use the dragon in an area where you know he's not going to be moving, like when he's about to summon an attack, and you know he's going to be there for a little bit. Use the dragon to breathe the fire. When you're low, use your ultimate to get some health. So we're at 92 going up against Maestro. No boosters. Oh, damn. Get him. Look at the dragon. I like the teleporting move because it just teleports to where he's at. Hit him with the dragon. So when he does those, that's the best time to pull the dragon out. Summon him. You can summon the dragon to attack him even if you're pretty far away. So while he's doing that, summon the dragon. And then that should be it. There we go. We just defeated Maestro. Now, what is the best non-regional or best gear set for Magic? Okay, now I'm free to play, so we're gonna be talking about non-regional. If you guys want to know what like a regional and stuff like that, I recommend watching Kiger. Now, this is what I use. Now, I don't even have a full set yet. I'm in the process of building it. These is from the boxes, the resources I've been hoarding for Magic. I opened them and I basically, whatever is the best one, I put them up here. Right now, I'm putting what the best stats. So for my chest, I have the X-Furnace Suit, which 3 guard damage. This is the one that's going to, you know, all these are going to be changed. But what is the one that I am going to be going for? So the best non-regional for Magic is honestly all of them. The reason why I say this is because as a free-to-play player, we kind of have to go the route the RNG gods give us. I am going to be ending up going the Uncanny Magik, which is the Uncanny X-Men. The reason why is because I got 3 ultimate gauge recovery, which I love, because the main thing you're going to want to do is you want to make sure you're able to get to that ultimate pretty quickly, because that's really the bread and butter of Magic. So these boots, I already got 3 rolls of ultimate gauge recovery. If I can get cooldown decrease to come out in the next 2, I would love it. And the other reason why I'm going with Uncanny X-Men, when I opened up all my boxes, all my resources for Magic, I noticed that I had tremendous amount of Uncanny X-Men gear. I did what I did with my Superior Iron Man. I chose to go the route that was dropping the most. By doing it like that, I ended up upgrading my Uncanny X-Men, kept upgrading the ones that was giving me the best stats. And this one right here was just like, oh my god, I cannot believe it. For my head, I also have an Uncanny X-Men. So this one, she's giving me 2 critical damage. And then as you can see, I believe I have, no, yeah, that's it. But as you can see, look at all these other Uncanny X-Men down here. Uncanny X-Men critical rate. The critical rate one is the one that I'm going to try to get as my main. Critical damage. Critical rate, see? So I'm going to keep upgrading all my Uncanny X-Men and to see when I'm done which one's going to be taking that spot. And I'm going to do that with each gear piece. So for example, if you are opening all your resources, or you notice that X-Furnace Suit is the one that's dropping everywhere for you, go that route. Start upgrading all the X-Furnace suits and cherry pick the ones with the best stat. And the ones with the best stat, you move and you use that one to, you upgrade that one. As a free-to-play player, we can't, it's going to be very hard for us, and we're going to get frustrated if we go a regional route, or we have to go this certain gear. It will be better if you just go where the RNG guys are guiding you. It's going to be a lot easier, and you focus on the stats. I did that with my Iron Man, my Superior Iron Man. You guys saw the damage I was able to do as a free-to-play player. It's crazy. So I'm going to be doing that with all this. So for my costumes, as you can see, I have the Uncanny Magik, and you see I'm slowly doing the same thing. Just what I did with my Iron Man Superior, I'm doing with my Magik. I'm doing the exact same thing. The other one that I'm noticing is the Fall of the Mutants suit. The Fall of the Mutants gear pieces are also dropping a lot. So I'm not getting rid of the Fall of the Mutants suit. I'm saving them. You never know. I'm doing the same thing. So I noticed that I had a lot of Uncanny X-Men drop and a lot of Fall of the Mutants dropping. So what I ended up doing was like, all right, Uncanny X-Men and Fall of the Mutants are the ones that I'm going to start building. I'm also saving up my regional drops too. I'm putting them into my storage. You never know. I might end up with a full set of something. But until then, I'm focusing on what the RNG gods is giving me. And they're giving me, right now, they're telling me Uncanny X-Men. And they're also giving me Fall of the Mutants. Saving both of them, upgrading both of them all the way up to see which one comes out best. And I'm going to go with the one that's giving me the best stats. That is the real and best way, the best advice for a free-to-play player. But don't get me wrong, you do this, and if you want to go regional as a free-to-play player, I recommend you go this route first, and while you're doing this, you're saving and slowly building that regional gear that you want to build. Now for gear, like what stats we're going to be looking into the gear. My goal is, what I'm looking for here is, one thing I noticed that it's hard to get with Magic is critical rate. So critical rate is something that I really want to make sure that I have in the areas where I can have critical rate, which is cores, stats, the bonus stats in the head or the chest, or in stats and badges and just stuff like that. So because you can't enhance potential, it doesn't have no critical rate. So you're going to want to make sure that you really want to have critical rate in here. So as I'm leveling all these up, this is the heroic age. So, but as you know, I'm going with the uncanny because that's the most that's dropped. And this one right here is going down that right path. So once I get her to level 3, and if she gets another really good stat, this is the one that's going to take that spot for this once she gets to 4 stars. Now, the other reason, now with Uncanny Magic, she gets Master of the Abyss skill level. So what is exactly the Master of Abyss? So the Master of Abyss is black magic, which is dark magic. So it's dark magic, which is also going to increase your ultimate. So Uncanny Magic seems to be the one to go for as non-regional. But I recommend you go for the one that's dropping the most. That is the best advice I can give you because that is what's going to really help you out. If I tell you Uncanny, it might not drop as much for you as it does for me. Everyone's different. I realize that. So whatever is dropping a lot, you go that route, because the reason why is because since it's dropping a lot, you're going to be able to cherry pick the stats because it's always dropping. Now, what other stats besides critical rate? We're looking for critical damage, defense, pierce. The chest you want critical damage, but also you can add a little bit of accuracy in there. But for free to play in the PvE, accuracy is not really a big thing yet. If you're only going to be doing PvE, then you don't have to worrying about accuracy. You can just try to get critical damage, some critical rate in here, and then throw in some defense pierce. And I'm talking about the chest. I know that I had the headpiece, but I was talking about the chest. So accuracy would be on the chest. You can also, if you want attack, you get attack, but you're already getting attack up here. Might as well make these stuff that you are hard to get, which is, you know, critical rate or defense pierce. Now for for your gauntlet, for your sword, obviously the one that I have right now is giving me 2 dodge rate. So obviously it's just like last time, dodge rate or defense. If you have one that rolls like 3 stacks of defense, that's a good one. Then that means you should aim for having a very tanky build. Go with the defense. Defense is good too. Dodge rate would be the one that I highly would go after. So this one's going at 2 dodge rate. Like I said, I'm going Uncanny X-Men. So I'm building them all up, and I'm looking for ones that have like dodge rate on them. So, oh, we got one right here that has dodge rate. So this one is the one that I'm going to continue to level up. Now for your boots, I ended up getting 3 ultimate gauge recovery. This is really good because my main thing is trying to get the ultimate. Now the other thing is, I think that I'm already happy with what I have. So the next one that I really would like is cooldown decrease. Cooldown decrease because all my skills are going to take long to cooldown. So cooldown decrease and stamina recovery are a must. So for magic, when it comes to like battle badges, magic is one that for the first time, yellow cores could be a good thing. The reason why I say that is because if you look down at our specialization, it converts 0.3% of HP into attack. We won't know unless somebody finally fully levels this up and sees if this one is actually a good one or not. There are people in the community that are saying that this one could be misleading or it might not be as good as it sounds. I'm willing to aim for it and see how it does, because if it does start doing pretty good, and having yellow cores would really benefit you a lot. As I'm going through here, I'm basically putting the best level 80 badges that I have, because I'm looking at the stats and then the cores. Now we're going to be getting into the enhanced potential. Now in the enhanced potential, I'm going to tell you what is the best route to go. Now, the first thing that I would gain for is obviously attack. What she has going for is attack and then HP in here, because if you're thinking about, I'm thinking about going for that specialization trait where it converts HP to attack. I haven't went for the defense, and as you can see, I'm still a tank. On my second one, defense pierce, went straight for that one, then added more HP. For my third one, I skipped stamina recovery accuracy rate, which with these two are important too. And the reason I skipped these two, accuracy and stamina, is because of this one. I wanted to aim for ultimate gauge recovery, because getting ultimate gauge fast is the most important thing for me. And if I can get that fast and start turning into her form, and then after that I went to total damage, and then I'm gonna head for HP right here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start doing accuracy and stamina. Probably stamina first, because accuracy, since I'm PvE build, I'm free to play, accuracy rate is not really important. Now for specializations, the first one that I go to, the ones that I recommend as a free to play we go and we start aiming for the 3 on the bottom right. Now, why do I say this? Well, the first one is the Mystic Mastery Infinite Darkness, which increases the ultimate skill gauge recovery speed by 21%. And this is at level 4. Already got it at level 4, but it basically you're able to get your ultimate faster. That's basically what it's saying. So that's a must for me. I got this, and the reason why I recommend these 3 is because look at how close these 3 are. So you go here, you get these 3, and then you're able to quickly go into this one and get this one, which is converts your HP into attack. And that is important because you want to, that's why I'm going for all that HP. So if I have a high HP, it's going to be converted into attack by the amount of percent, which is, I think, I don't know, maybe 3%. By the time it's done, it'll probably give me 3% of HP into attack. And this is the third one that I recommend. The Mystic Mastery increases attack and HP by 2.5% while transformed as the Dark Child. Now, I wonder if this one, if you have this one, which is it converts 0.3% of HP into attack, will this also get a boost because of the other active trait? Because if that, in that case, if that's true, then this set right here, all these 3, it's going to be really, really good to have. You can go and aim at this guy, which it decreases damage received by 25% for 25 seconds when guard is broken. Now that's 25 cents because 25% because it's at the bottom level. But once you increase this will go higher, higher, higher. So in my opinion, maybe this one's actually Survival Instinct is the one to go for as the 4th one. So the 4 being 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 will be the ones to go for. They're really close to each other, so you can get them quick. Now for mega cards, when you're going up against hordes, you're doing side quests, and you need to defeat hordes of enemies, then I'm gonna be looking for villain damage, critical damage, total damage. So like this one, I would equip this one. The cooldown decrease, yeah, this one definitely. Let's throw in Loki because of the critical damage. I'm not saying no special card. I'm gonna avoid the special cards because it's very rare for a free to play to get a special card. This one, oh man, but the 2 set critical damage. You might increase this one. The Thor would be a good one. Hopefully, you want to make sure. Like, you might not have the set. You just look for critical damage, villain damage. So do we have villain ones here? I might have to move some from so I'll put the West Coast Avengers because it has villain damage. And then I have a Modoc one. So this one gives me villain damage and defense pierce. Got some villain damage there and then villain damage there. So I'm doing more to villains. And the key to this is basically we're just, this card set is for when I'm going against villains. Now, once I have the Uncanny Magic set fully complete, and with my headpiece is going to have critical rate, and my chest piece is going to have critical rate, guaranteed. Or else, you know, there's no way I'm gonna try to get him to 6 stars. Well, it's gonna take a long time for me to get him to 6 stars, even 1 to 6 stars. But getting one of these to 5 stars is more possible. Now, there is an Omega card you can get from the Dark Zone that gives you crit rate. Now, the reason why I don't think I had moved it from Iron Man, the reason why I don't use it on here is because it's very hard to get, and a lot of free-to-play people don't really have it. But if you do, test that one out, throw that in there, because, you know, she needs to have more crit rate. So crit rate would be definitely improved. So for my super villain set, like the set that I will switch to when it comes to like super villains, I definitely get these for my definitely this one, critical damage and super villain damage, and then cooldown decrease, just because cooldown, my skills are high cooldown. But if you're not worried about cooldown, then you can switch that card for another one. Now the other ones, I'm not using my specials because we don't really, you know, free to play players, most of us don't have the special cards yet. Now for the Avengers, this one's gonna give me super villain damage. This is crazy. Now this is the mindset, the strategy I used with my Iron Man to get 2nd place in DZ like 2 weeks in a row. So I wasn't looking at the sets. I was looking more at the stats each one was giving me, and I was going off of that. So I'm applying that same method to here, and I'm looking for villain damage, and what is it at? The Black Order is super villain damage and defense pierce. Then I'll probably throw in this defense pierce one right here because it gives me defense pierce and another defense pierce. So my defense pierce will definitely go high. There you guys have it. Hopefully you guys get a lot of knowledge out of this video, and hopefully this video helped you guys a lot to fully understand a little bit more about Magic and kind of help you come with a game plan of which way you want to direct Magic to. If you are somebody who puts money into this game and you're have no problem whaling out on this game, then definitely go check out another channel. This is mainly for free-to-play players. So we struggle through different things. I'm getting you guys that best route for free-to-play players. There's certain things in here that would not make sense if you were let's just say somebody like a Dolphin that puts money into this game. That's a different channel. This channel, this is a free-to-play, very low spender community. Now companions, I really didn't get into companions because you just put the best, just go whatever you got. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next time.